interesting. You have like a Charlie Chaplin-esque kind of story where his mother wanted to be, seriously, she wanted to be into show business, but you were the special one that kind of made it.
My father's family was all doctors. They were Germans. They were scientists, and they were serious people. And my mother's family was full of jokers.
So let's get started with, talking about you and your life.
All right. But this
Running.
is a warning. I can't do adult today.
If I ask you any questions you don't want to answer, just kind of skate around it.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
But so your mother, you were adopted at 4 years old, right?
4 days.
4 days. Okay. I got
4
that wrong.
days. I was a tiny package.
Were your original parents Jewish?
Yeah, we believe so. Yes. We tried to find them a long time ago, and the hospital records were gone, and it was kind of a mess. And it was all like an under the table adoption because my parents were looking for a Jewish baby, and it was boomer time, and they were hard to find. So my Aunt Rose, my father's sister, was married to a doctor who was a big deal at this hospital in New York. And so she put the word out that the next Jewish baby that came in that was up for grabs, she would get. So that's how suddenly they called. It was Thanksgiving weekend, and they said, "We got one." And so my parents raced in from Jersey and picked me up. I was at 4 days. They'd been waiting 4 days to see what was going to happen, and then brought me back in a blizzard to Pattish, New Jersey, the first of many insults. I joked with them, sure, right away. You took me out of Manhattan to Jersey.
So my question is then, are all Jewish people funny? And the second question is, why do you think they are? And I hope you say yes.
Well, certainly, because we're Jews and we're funny. I think that first of all, I don't think it's like a genetic thing. Jews certainly traditionally have been lived on the outside. They're never a part of the mainstream of any society. We're allowed, we're permitted, we're forgiven, we're integrated, but we always know our place. And I think that obviously that's changed a lot over the centuries, but that from that comes an attitude of being on the outside and a way of looking at the world that is what they used to call gallows humor. It's like, it's not going to end well, so we might as well have a good time while we're at it and make fun of it. And I think that informs a lot of people who grow up Jewish. I think that's seeped into the culture.
Not to tell the master, anything, but I mean, comedy's set in the negative, right? So Jews have a lot of,
we have a lot of
adversity.
Negative.
What's that?
We have a lot of negative.
Yeah.
And I think that's also part of. I think that it's kind of like it's not, you're not born with that, but it's how, the culture you're raised in. I mean, we had a joke when Bette Midler was playing Las Vegas. She had a residency, and we had a joke in the act. She would say, "Where are my Jews?" And people, the Jews would applaud. There they are. They're all sitting in a draft.
Well, because, also the adversity.
We are complainers by nature. It just seems to be that we have lots to bitch about.
Yeah, and the adversity.
And that's funny.
And you've had adversity, and Jewish people have adversity, and a lot of comedians, grow up with their adversity becomes part of their comedy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it's funny. I was on The View a few years ago, and I mentioned that a lot of people who had unhappy childhoods became comedians. And Joy Behar said, "I had a fabulous childhood." And I said, "Well, Joy, you're Italian.
That's right.
You pretend to be Jewish, but you're Italian. And when you want to be Italian, you're plenty Italian. So it's a different culture."
What's your biggest first success? Was it at the Chicago Tribune, or what was the first big moment?
I was acting. I was a child actor. I was never a child star, or we'd be having this conversation in rehab. I was a child actor, and I didn't get cast because in parts because I was too young to play the parts I was appropriate for. So I would go do them in summer stock. I'd be 14 years old playing an old man, that kind of thing. And so I got quite a training doing that. And then later, I was encouraged to write because I'd write about this stuff, and my parents kept saying, "Oh, you could be a journalist. You could be newspapers. They'll never die." Who knew? So I started writing, and then I went to Ohio State and got a degree in journalism and theater, and went to the Chicago Tribune. And I met Bette Midler shortly after I got there and began writing for her. So the writing, and I never stopped performing, but the writing and performing were hand in hand until for 5 years. While I was there, I acted. I was in a movie called Mahogany with Diana Ross, which shot in Chicago. And so I was, part of it all.